Okay, meeting come to order. Meeting come to order. First of all, I want to thank Jim for running the meetings last week. You run into any problems with the facilities?
No, not at all.
You got the keys and everything and, yeah?
No problem at all.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. I read your report and everything. It sounds like things went, you got good participation. How many people attended the journal meeting?
I
Wow.
don't remember what the count
Maybe
was.
last month.
22?
A lot because they all picked up their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So plenty people was there last month.
yeah.
As you can tell, there's nothing on the table, so there's no items left. So that went well. We made a lot of money for the club on that.
Okay. Okay, first of all, a meeting of May 21st, I don't think we officially opened the motion and approved it, so we don't. I know you sent it out and we were talking about how we're gonna send it out and everything. But we'll talk about how we wanna do that later. Okay, we're gonna have a meeting, so. The treasurer's report, Tony?
So I did send out the treasurer's report today. We have 54 members. And I just received now at the meeting today, $200 more from the auction. And so that puts us at 1,025 for the auction receipts. And I'd really like to thank Roy for taking care of that. That's a big deal. He's really given the club a big boost there.
How many members?
54 paid members.
Well, 54, you said. Okay, I thought I heard you say 51. And
How
Todd,
many did we pick up last meeting? I think we had.
We
three
picked up
join.
Eric Grabowski, and one other, Via. So I think we picked up 3 actually, and then, yeah, we picked up 3.
and the final contributors to that was Jeremy,
You mean the last $200?
and then Suggs, right? No, the equipment.
I didn't get anything from Suggs. Suggs was selling all the equipment.
Oh, he was,
This was only from the guy that was down at Paradise Park, the silent key. I went there, picked up the thing from the widow, and then Jeremy gave one radio to the club, which I have at the house. It's a 725 older ICOM, and then one radio for auction, which Jim won, the ICOM 821. And I think Jim EMN put a meter in there. Somebody bought the meter that he had.
so that was 1,025.
Correct.
Terrific. Okay. Anything else, Tony?
No, I think that's cover it.
Financial, okay.
Yeah, I move to approve the treasurer's report as submitted, subject to audit.
Oh, yeah, sorry. May I have a motion to accept the financial report?
Yeah, William moves.
Joe,
Second.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, any negatives? No, I heard everybody say aye, so motion carried.
Okay, did we actually approve the minutes in the email, or do we still need to do that?
No, I don't think we officially opened the motion to
All right,
accept
probably
the
still need to do
email.
that since it's
Yeah,
official.
so, what I want to do is, well, did we get a final minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, why don't we approve those minutes and then we can discuss how we're gonna handle that in the future, okay? So may I have a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting, May 21st?
Well, we've got to do 2, because we've got to do the executive board minutes, and we also have to do the
General
membership
meeting.
minutes.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So I
Okay.
move to approve both.
Both,
William and H618.
motion made to book both, Roy second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, public service communications, David.
Yes. We had our science day at the Wheeler Union Elementary School. It's, I think my most people louder. You can hear. Maybe I'll stand up. Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think most people were rated that we had a successful event. There were over 100 children involved. It's written up in the pamphlet, by the way, for everybody to read in detail. I would like to thank the people that participated on the net. And William was the real carried most of the load there, but there were a lot of other participants and we tried out our trifold, handed out the trifold for the club as well. That was well received. So, are there any questions on the union?
So there was over 100 kids
Yeah,
that came through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they controlled it really well, but it came through in groups rather
Yeah.
than just mass
Yeah.
onslaught. So it was well controlled. Got good support from the
Yeah.
It was hosted by the Science Museum. Very to our needs.
And that
Next time-
school is on a progressive side. They even have this thing called rainbow reading or something like that.
Yeah.
And they award students for reading at a certain level and everything like that.
Joe and Jim were there on him, and Jim was handing out the history copies, and I thought the kids were enjoying running around the school grounds with those. And Joe, you were the teacher. They were congregated around Joe, listening to what was going on.
Oh, yeah?
So it was pretty good, yeah. So, yeah, they indicated we'd be invited back and possibly to some other events as well.
You had something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, William, if you have a mic to pass around for everyone?
I do, although there's a mic on the table over there and then Alan has the mic to pass around.
Okay. Better so I can record
Yeah.
everything here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that the five voices were on that side of the room, so I.
Yeah, sorry, Joe, I'm trying to.
No, I
I'm reading
appreciate it. I
basically
got
what I
it before. It's all
printed.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say thanks, to everybody. It was a great event.
Okay.
And, out of that, Joe came up with the idea of going with the Keiki Museum. You've got a neighbor that's involved in that. We'll pursue that along with the Boy Scouts and possibly some further involvement in the.
To make a motion to authorize you to talk to them, like we did with the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we can do that.
But I didn't hear you. Right.
We're gonna we want to talk to the KK Museums on the Kona side about doing a presentation there, right?
Okay.
So last time when we wanted to approach Boy Scouts of America, we had to do a motion to tell him to direct him to do it.
Oh, okay.
Or public service.
So it's the same thing, right? The
Yeah.
museum and the Boy Scouts of
Yeah.
America?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And they're two separate entities, but same idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Participation, yeah. So if you want a separate motion, I can proceed anyway. So,
Okay, can you
unless there's an objection.
state the motion then?
I move that, well, somebody else should. move that.
I'll move
No.
that we authorize David and the committee as needed to reach out to organizations such as the Boy Scouts of America and the, what's the organization?
KK Museum.
KT Museum, on behalf of the club to set up programs such as this.
Okay,
I'll second it. Yeah, and include the Cal High School.
Yeah, that's why I phrased it
Okay.
as similar organizations to that. That way we don't have to revisit.
Yeah,
it.
so.
Have a second?
Jim second.
Jim second?
Okay, great.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Great.
Good effort. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it couldn't happen without Joe and Jim,
Yeah.
and everybody who was on the air to do it as well, so, very good. And,
Oh,
I think that's all. I admitted the fact that we had no meeting last month. PSCC and the meet formally last month. And that handed over to Tony, who's got the RA's report as part of the PSCC.
I couldn't hear the explanation as to why we're not using the mics. Are the mics working? May I use one?
You've got one right in front of you.
yeah,
Where?
I thought you had one
Right under
there.
your monitor next to the book. Little square thing.
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's on.
thank you.
Is that less on?
Yeah, but he said he dropped back off. He just wanted to make sure that we got in the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, so I did send out a addendum to the Public Service Communications Committee report. And he's got that in the written report, basically covering what's going on with Hawaii County Civil Defense, with the CERT admin team, and with the summit that I was at Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'd just like to make sure everyone's aware of that, and hopefully you'll read it. Thank you.
This might be too long for you. You think you can make a synopsis of it for the minutes? Yeah, for the
Yeah,
report.
real quick.
Yeah, okay.
So everybody knows where it's at, the Toledo, Colorado, Park, and Reed Bay, alternate. Basically, I've been trying to get everybody to do different things, like, we need a set up and break down volunteer, so I want that today, we want to do that here in the next meeting. We need coolers, tables, pop-up tents, chairs, etc. Who's bringing them on? That's about all I got.
Okay, but Tony, we still gotta go and get a permit to be there, right?
It's too late. We can't get a permit.
Oh,
Uh,
and,
If you'd like, I could look up the regs. Anybody can look up the regs. I would suggest that, you go to Hawaii County Parks online. And I was explaining that if there's over a certain threshold number of people participating in an event, that's when a permit becomes required. I don't know that we're gonna go over that threshold. Therefore, there's a good chance we do not need a permit.
What is the number of? What is the first?
I have to look it up. We're all here capable of using the internet and going to the county parks website. So, don't ask me. We got to look it up. If you give me a few minutes, I'll see if I can find it.
so in your experience, Roy, how many people flow in and out?
Well, technically, if you want to get specific, I think the people participating in the event is only the guys who are operating the radio at that given time. Everybody else are basically bystanders or spectators. So I don't think that should be an issue, because unless you have 50 radios there, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think you're
yeah.
gonna run over any type of threshold. So you're only gonna have 2 radios, 3 radios, so, I mean, that's pretty much the people that do the event at the time. Will be whatever 3 people is sitting at the radios. Everybody else is not doing anything with the event, they're just kind of like just watching, so. That's the same as somebody that's walking up from the outside and hanging out in a tent and going, oh, what's going on here?
Mm,
They're not part of the event.
yeah,
Yeah, so to me, technically, whoever's in the tables operating, those are the guys who are running the event. So if you got 2 radios, then we get 2.
So we shouldn't go over 10 for sure.
And I don't think we'll have 10 radios on there, so no way possible.
Well, and generally with field day, people cycle through. So even though we may end up with 20 attendees, there's never 20 there at any one time.
Yeah. They're gonna come and go, right?
Yeah.
Except for the people that are running the radio. We probably have to
Yeah,
stay
but
on
then
that.
those are rotating seats too, yeah? Like plenty of times Jim would stand up or I'll stand up and then someone else sits down there and starts grabbing the microphone, starts making contact. So it's that particular station is the is actually the operating, whatever the building event is, whatever's on that table, whoever's there operating is probably the whole field day. Everybody else will just stand off the table, you're just a spectator at that point.
So logistically, what do we have and what do we have to do? We got the tents and tables and,
If we have all the stuff, tents, tables, up, all we need are volunteers, and I think we should be good. Jim and I will go shopping beforehand, everything, and I don't know what else.
Who has the tents?
I think you said you might have one. No?
I don't have,
Well,
I've got,
that's two.
my leg kinked finally. After one of these years, it
Let's
doesn't
see.
work, right?
We'll have to find out today from the numbers, if anyone else has a pop-up tent.
what about the generator? You got one?
With the batteries and the panels we have in place, we've not used the generators the last couple of times.
yeah, well, if you use a generator, it's less points. If you stay on, natural heat power, we get higher points.
And with lithium batteries, we don't need generators.
Oh, it's 75, if you're over 75 people, or 75 or higher, you get that permit.
Oh, we're not-
And it's different from state, from county. State and county are
Which one
different.
you on? Oh, good, let's go county parks. Screw the state.
Okay. So we pretty much set then.
Yeah, well.
So all you gotta do is, so what kind of volunteers you need?
Just to bring the tables, like Paul's brings the tables.
Oh, set it up.
Set everything up, that's all. I mean, it sounds like a big deal.
Okay.
I can bring on an antenna that the other ham guy, the one time in the winter field day up and on the road, and the visiting hams came up with their rental car. The guy left behind end fit 20-meter set. which would be
Oh,
perfect.
perfect.
So I could use that. He said he used that at the Namakanipa EO Park, he was making contacts, so it works. So we can do that. Jim's got the other ones. He's gonna build. This is like going back to old school. Everything is build, which is great. He's building two homemade antennas. That guy built that end-fed ZEP. I mean, radio is what we need. The 725 from Jeremy, I don't know how good it works. I haven't tried it. But if not, I got an 840 sitting around. I can bring that down. That's a good little radio for an HF. And then you usually bring down one that needs to be your
It's
digital one.
7,300, I'll be ready.
And I'll be bringing the, radio that Les donated. We can use that at one station.
Yeah.
Is that already programmed in? Does it need
If
program?
not, I can swap my program to into I have the same model.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, we don't get points on we get points on the VHF scale at all. On
I believe if you have a go-to station set up and, a non-licensed individual use it, you get points.
Oh, okay. I know we get points from the satellite. That's the reason why Hank or Paul usually contacts us on the satellite at least once, so we get that points. But okay, cool.
Those kind of points. Yeah, 18 and younger.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Not licensed. Okay. We'll figure it out. We get 2 more weeks.
We should get some trifolds to hand out to the public, right? Okay, great, thank you. Gary's not here. Jim, program and digital systems. I got your report.
Yes, we looked at the report. So, in addition to the report, the only thing, anybody that hasn't seen what the Whisper equipment looks like, this is a picture of the inside of the boxes that we made. So you've got the black module there, that's the transmitter. And the toroid is a 49 to 1 unknown. It goes to the end-fed antenna. And this, where I got my cursor, that's the buck converter that failed. So we bypass that, so it's in there. But we then plug a USB-C cord right into the unit and put that cord back into the building and plugged it in.
So we bypassed the buck converter. There's a whole reason for that being there originally, was just to, so originally it was gonna be much further from the hut, and I wanted to account for any voltage drops, and so I was using 12 volts, and then just stepping it down to 5 volts with the transmitter. So now we're just putting 5 volts directly into the transmitter and bypassing the buck converter. And so that's all I really have in addition to what I filed in my report for the digital committee. We did not have any meeting.
And William will be for board, I mean, the membership, you'll be doing your presentation in Fox Sons.
Say that again?
Your presentation today is Fox Sons.
Well, we should have a series of presentations, because I'm only doing a very brief talk on it.
Oh,
So
okay.
today's all about field day, but there's gonna be other portions to that.
All right, thank you.
And then, yeah, repeater committee, no change from the update that I gave last month on any of those topics, except we have the new task that was given to us in the general membership meeting. The membership passed that motion that directs the board to create a solution for remote access to the repeater for people who are in convalescent care or who are traveling. That's supposed to be limited to a white list of the membership. And so that was a directive given to the board. Now the board needs to decide what to do with that.
Okay.
I
What is it gonna cost to do that?
Well, it depends on how we want to do it. If we do a homebrew setup like an All-Star link that we can connect to Echolink or something like that, we're probably talking $300 or less. If we use surplus equipment that have been donated to the club already, because the transceiver doesn't need to be anything special. The club has a series of pyramid in-car repeater transceivers that would probably work for that. But we need a radio interface, and then we need a controller of some type, whether we do that on a Raspberry Pi or some other dedicated controller.
It might be a good use for that money that, the $1,000 that just came in.
But actually not, the infrastructure fund has the necessary funding for that. That $1,000 that came in would be spent on infrastructure like that. So I request that the board authorize the repeater committee to expend not more than $400 out of the infrastructure fund, what we used to call the repeater fund, to create the gateway that the membership has directed the board to create.
I think that's reason. Any second?
Also,
Joe seconds. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. $400, right?
Yeah, not more than that.
one question.
Yep.
So that would allow people when they're off island or, you know, would that also be open to people that that are associate members? That don't, you know,
Well, that needs to get worked out by the board, so that's a good question. The stipulation was that we didn't want non-members, like just every amateur operator from the mainland, having access to it. The motion that was made only said member. It didn't differentiate between the different classes of members, but I believe it's open to board interpretation. Go ahead, Tony.
So in my descriptions and all of our descriptions for membership, associate members have always had all the same rights and privileges. The only thing they don't have is voting.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think that by that, the use policy, as stated, we probably associate members as well.
So whatever portal you come up with, we should try to make it accessible for other repeaters that we might put in, right?
Well, the discussion that happened at the membership meeting
Oh,
stipulated that ultimately this will be put onto the linking system when the linking system comes up this year. And that way it can be used as a gateway into the entire system.
So any repeaters linked with people that, be here.
yeah, yeah. So it really is like the all-star system then,
Yes,
yeah? Yeah.
yes, it's like the All-Star system, but it doesn't use the internet. This would be
Yeah,
internet
by
facing on
radio.
one side, but then private network facing on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be pretty slick. Yeah. Boy, it'll save you all those trips up to Kulani.
No, because then you still gotta work on Kalani's equipment.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for the motion. I think that's a great, great move here. Okay, Les, are you here? I guess not.
He said he was gonna leave the meeting, so I
Yeah.
think he left himself logged in, otherwise he puts us out.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that the trifold worked well for your thing here, and we can use it for field day. Any other ideas on where we can have these things? I mean, we shouldn't just have stacks of them sitting around someplace, but any ideas?
I would just say we printed some, they were black and white,
Uh-huh,
because we didn't have,
you know,
a full stack of colored ones, but if you can build have a supply on hand, that would be great.
Yeah.
Access.
so right now, are there other locations you think we could have them to?
Well, as fairs come out, the events throughout the summer, the emergency preparedness, that sort of thing. They're always useful. People take what kind of response you get, but there's, most people that
Yeah.
are interested.
Oh, you never know. You
Yeah.
never know, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have the color one, I think, rather than black and white ones.
And the whole effort here is one of our initiatives is to get more members and of course, to get more members involved with all the things that are being done. Okay, so as far as field day go and the whole business, we're gonna go to Kuhio Kalaniao Ole Park and just go there and set up, right? So,
So I just sent a copy of the latest rules from the County Parks Department, a PDF document to everybody here. And it looks to me like the primary reason why we would want to get a permit in the future is if we want to operate outside of park hours. So without a permit, we're definitely restricted to the hours of the park that are posted. With a permit, we can get permission to operate outside those hours with a special use permit.
so in our case, we're gonna be outside of the operating period,
Well,
24 hours,
it's
right?
field day, so
Yeah.
without a permit, we're not allowed to do that. With a permit, we could be given permission to do that.
The reason we haven't pushed getting operating outside of hours is in the last few years, we just don't get the people sticking around into the night,
Mm.
It ends up being like me and Roy, one time William was there to like late, around midnight or something. We just don't get as many people showing up. So it's I'm not that big on pulling an all-nighter unless, there's a good interest. We get some people operating,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's why we're just kind of shutting down, get out by the time the park closes.
What's the closing time on that spot? Do you have it there?
7 or 8 o'clock. Way past when
11.
the 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Start. Because I think it's 8 o'clock is when the restriction starts.
Yeah,
So you want to get to 8, 9 with that.
but you want to get it before
Or
8.
you want to get there before so you can.
You can start contacting,
So-
but
so
it never
yeah.
happens. It never happens.
Start at working stations as soon as you're allowed.
You'd like the operator by 8 o'clock. You gotta get there by 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any,
Also, the earlier you get there, more optimal space, parking like that. I don't know what the parking's like, whether you.
And the gates open at 7.
okay, anything else, Roy? Joe?
No.
About it? Okay. Roy, on the donated equipment, you already reported 1,000 something. Anything else you want to add for that? Add to this?
Well, no, well, so initially the whole thought was to raise money to get one club radio, which ideally, you're gonna buy one and done, would probably be the Shack in the Box 991 Alpha. That radio currently on HRO is 1,300. Plus shipping, probably about what, $100 at the most. So you're probably looking at no more than $1,400 for the radio. We order it, it's not gonna be here by this field day, obviously. Well, it might, depends how fast. HRO says they ship stuff in a week, then it takes a month, it depends on how backlogged they are, but that would have been the initial thought of the funds that we raised up, was use that to take the brunt of the cost of the radio and see if we could authorize the remaining of the cost to be taken out of some kind of a funding from the club that could fund this club radio and have it dedicated as a dedicated radio, not only for field day, but even like, for example, because this radio can do pretty much everything, you could use it for doing the, when you do the exercises and stuff, because it's capable of running wind link.
For the event at Hilo Union School.
Yeah.
Even you school, you can see for FM. This, I don't know what it can't do, DMR, it's all it cannot do is DMR, but everything else it can't do. This radio can do every single thing that you can think of. You can do that when you do the exercises with like the emergency MCOM people, somebody could set that radio up as a hub somewhere and operate off of that. You know, run a computer to it. It's all plug and play. That really is plug and play.
And what we want to do is get a club radio like that. It really is the good choice for it. It has the built-in sound card.
Built-in tuner, built-in everything.
It covers all the bands and all of that.
All modes, all bands. And yeah, and everything is easy. I mean, Jim's got the software to actually program it even faster for us. He has the RT1 software for the 991 also. So you could program the radio on one speed and have everything in there.
What would we need in addition to the radio itself to be able to put together a package?
And well, we can build an antenna and a power supply. That's it.
Power supplies are easy.
And antennas are easy to build. Nothing. That radio's all there. It's like a.
Yeah, but we probably need cases for it, because if this is something that's gonna be tasked person to person.
Yeah, you could probably get. I don't know where you buy those from. Those little cases or Pelican cases or whatever.
Like Amazon.
Yeah, Jim could probably figure that part out. Just the radio itself would be about 1,400. I don't think we need to get Mars about it, and if we did, we got Mr. Mars right there. But I did mine, and it's not fun, so screw that. I'm not gonna do it again.
Well, I move that we create an ad hoc committee for the purpose of exploring the purchase of a all mode, all band radio with the necessary appurtenances such as a case.
Sounds like you already know what you want, right?
Well, that was the whole intent of this thing, is trying to get something that, because otherwise it's always like me and Jim bringing on our personal radios to field day, or if they try to run a emergency exercise, they're scrambling around for people that can be
Yeah.
Well, this radio will take care of all that stuff.
So I propose that we create this ad hoc committee for the purpose of doing this, and that they bring the board the pricing, not just for the radio, but also for a case and things like that. And they can reach out to members to solicit donation of power supply, don't have one, and things like that. And I move that we
I'll second William's motion.
appoint Roy as the chair of that committee.
I'll second.
Okay, so the motion is to create an ad hoc, the motion is to create an ad hoc committee to look into,
To bring it to the board.
bring it
so
to
that
the
we can
board,
take
right.
action on it and decide on funding at
Okay.
that point.
got it. You have a second?
As far as discussion, it's a lot quicker and easier if whoever we buy it from takes PayPal. Then we don't have to send them a check and wait for the check to clear. So that's just a suggestion.
I'm in HRO those things out.
I believe they do.
I think it's
So, I mean, if you decide on it, I mean, I can always buy it and
get
then
reimbursed.
get reimbursed.
Oh, I can pay for it in a heartbeat on PayPal, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, and then, so we've got that vote, then?
Okay, then for funding, the $400,
That vote first, so we have a standing motion, we have to vote on. it.
yeah.
Well, we're
the
discussing the motion.
Question
in
I have
discussion.
before we vote on this is that, is the funding.
Yeah, and
Are
I've
we-
got a motion to come after this to deal with the funding.
Oh, okay,
So I would point out that this year's budget has equipment dollars allocated of 950.
okay.
All right,
fine.
so
All
that
right.
would, I mean, we can add,
Tony, you know, on top of that, in addition to, you mentioned about a radio to pass on to new hands. We could use the 725 for that matter that Jeremy donated. You know, it's a cheap radio in case they drop it, and I'm dropping a $1,400 $991, and go, oh crap, I dropped the radio and, you know, you dropped the 725, okay, well, that was a free radio. You know, so we
Okay.
could use the 725 to pass around to the new hand like you're talking about. So the 725, you can plug into a sound card, right? You want to get a digital, like a single link or something in the back, yeah?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so you could still do that. I think I have a signal link later on the house, and I can donate the signal link for that purpose, if I can dig out of my container. So I don't use the signal link at all.
Okay,
Just one more question.
question?
The event at Yellow Union, Roy and I were discussing the fact that we needed a good antenna to go with the HF to get out of the school ground. And that it needed a vertical HF that we could set up quickly and easily. Maybe we can make that part of the motion.
Well, that would be part of the motion. First, we have to create the ad hoc committee, and then we can.
Yeah.
task them.
Yeah, then that will be the input to the ad hoc committee. Okay. Motion on floor is to create an ad hoc committee to bring to the board the complete package on what the club radio will be like. Okay? May I, you seconded it, yeah? Somebody seconded.
I did.
Vote is second.
Have, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay,
And I'd like to make another motion that we take the proceeds that were received from the auction
Hmm,
and we earmark those for the purchase recommended by that committee as it comes, but also authorize expenditure out of the equipment fund for any funds above the money that was received in the auction.
okay, so that would make it what, 1,900? Right?
Or it may not be that much.
Not quite, because we've already spent some money out of the equipment fund this year.
Okay.
So
Everybody heard the motion?
I'll
Okay,
second.
You have a second? David? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I didn't hear any no's. Okay, so, wait, who's gonna be the chair?
Roy.
Roy. Okay,
And
Roy.
we have already volunteered for it, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right here.
So
Go chairs.
this is where we can tell that new committee, which exists for this one purpose, what we're expecting out of it.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you think that we need an HF antenna to go with the kit. Something
Yes,
small, I would take.
yeah,
like-
that way it's easily, quickly set up and we can use it in a restricted area
Maybe a mag.
and get out.
Can a MacBook receive as well?
Oh, yeah. You can transfer
Oh,
receiver
okay.
mag.
So the vertical
The one that
requires
we
long
have,
radials,
Yeah,
and that would be
right.
problematic.
Different fit.
Yeah.
That's an activated.
You ever go to me bottom here, community gym? Going
Oh,
simple
yeah,
moves?
oh, it's right. yeah,
So
yeah,
mine can transmit on it too, not well, but it'll transmit on it, it's only QRP, so it'll burn it up.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a mag, we'll just throw ideas out there. I mean, that's the concept that you had, David, with something small like a MacBook.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a MacBook, but some sort of compact portable,
Tripod base.
or that ATAS.
ATAS is
manual
great.
to the antenna.
Oh, so not even, or even just a regular ATAS antenna, because The regular ATAS antenna,
It's controllable by the.
the 991, and it's controllable from 40
That's-
up to 70 centimeters. That's all in one. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's just.
So we have to put, we'll put that in the expense budget and see if we can come under the cap.
Yep.
Because if we can, that is the shizzles as far as having that tripod, little, basically it's a motorized screwdriver antenna that goes up and down by itself. You
Oh.
scroll on the frequency, it'll retune. You don't have
That
to
would
do
be
anything.
perfect, yeah.
And I made a lot of contacts of that ATAS,
So,
DX wise.
and then an ask that I would have for your committee is that you include space in that case for the Anytone 578 that Les donated.
Oh, okay.
So that we can store it with the other radio, and that way we've got the club's go equipment in one case.
But the good thing is that when anyone at home, so I can just measure the dimensions of that.
Yep.
And kind of figure out how much of a case we
Well,
need,
I've got the 578 with me if you want to take measurements on it,
like this.
something like that.
That's good enough.
Out of curiosity, who's gonna be the custodian of all this equipment? Do we have,
Whoever you get one up, wait, I don't care.
oh,
Just
Yeah,
whatever.
we're still working on storage issues.
The only
Yeah.
thing I don't want to happen is that the 7300 is stopping so much, I want to keep beating the dead horse because, I wasn't part of the club back then, but I'm still salty about the fact that there's a 7300 stashed in somebody's storage that never came to the club, that was donated to the club years ago. And everybody's playing like they don't know where it's at, or they don't want to go to his house. Hey, I'll go there. I'll go grab it. Just tell me where it's at. Put me in a direction and and I charge ahead. But, so I don't want that happening with this thing. And understand if that happens, I will be knocking on your door and grabbing it, so.
Well, and that'll be a task for the board after the acquisition is how do we do asset tracking?
yeah,
We need to record the serial number and all that. This is one that we should cover under our Mercer policy.
yeah, we
But,
need to do
how
that.
we track?
Well, you know what, maybe so it doesn't stay with one particular person for too long. Maybe it should go like, maybe it should be stored at the active president's location. So if it goes to, if you become the president next, it goes to your, that way.
Actually, I'd say operating activities, and I'd stay with operating activities, 'cause that's.
That'll be Joe's house, way out there in Glen Broomwood,
No car.
with no car and no nothing.
Okay, no. It doesn't mean that you have to store it. It means that you're responsible for keeping tabs on it.
Oh, right, I don't know.
Okay, wait. What about storage, places that, what do you call those things?
Yeah, we still have a standing committee to try to explore those. We have not found one within the club's budget yet.
Oh, how much do they
Well,
cost?
and the case is not gonna be bigger than that speaker behind you, so we don't have.
We do have other stuff we need to store. So ultimately, we need a club storage solution of some type, and that's
Yeah.
probably where we live.
Sounds like
We
it.
just don't have it.
Well, like a storage unit?
Yeah.
Oh. So up until then, we just gotta figure out where we put that thing. Well, where's the rest of the equipment at?
My house.
Oh,
No, how much do those things cost anyway?
Storage unit,
kind of pricey.
130 a month.
A month?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're not cheap.
There was one that came up $78 a month, but it got snatched up before we could meet the vote to grab it. to the club.
yeah.
So
Yeah, are they organizations we can partner up with and
we have
share?
tried and tried and tried. I was really hopeful with the community college, but with Rachel having departed, all our support there evaporated.
Oh,
If you, I can store, what we like store, I can. No matter. I can store it in a case.
yeah.
I can always bring them down.
So if we
Yeah, we
get
also
good
have-
airtight containers, we could probably store it anywhere, right?
How's that?
If we get good airtight containers, we can store it anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
But it's just having a secure place, because it's not just that, it's also the lending library.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
also other club equipment. There's stuff that could be donated to the club if the club had a place to put it. The club could have their own easy up. The club could have
Okay.
all sorts of stuff, but we don't have any place to put it.
Okay, let's put that onto the agenda for the future, near future.
Well, like I said, just as there's a standing committee for this, we already created a standing committee last year to look for storage. Les and I are on that committee, and neither one of us have been able to find any type of option yet.
What about operating activities? Doesn't it cover that kind of thing?
The committee,
Yeah,
sure, but this goes well beyond operating activities, because the repeater committee's hardware, the digital systems committee's hardware, let's spare repeaters and stuff. I mean, we ultimately need a storage
Location,
place for that.
yeah.
We had tried through that website, neighbor.com, where people rent out a closet or a piece of their garage or whatever for storage. And there's just nothing available here on island. So we reached out to a couple of churches, like the church that we used as our backup location to pay out. And they said that they couldn't help us.
Oh,
So still working on it.
okay. All right,
That was partially why we increased the dues, the membership dues, was to try to be able to afford more for an option like that.
What is the criteria for having one storage area gonna be secured, but gonna be accessible by everybody?
Yeah, I mean, we can, well, that's a bridge we can cross when we get there, is who will let have access to it, is it board members, is it committee members, But, that may be dictated by what we get. It's a member who says, hey, I've got a storage shed and you're allowed to use half of it. That's one set of rules, but if it's in, a community member's garage who's leasing it to us, we have to comply by their restrictions. Only people that can have access to it.
well, if there's a way to secure it, I have garage space for 8 cars. So I'm sure I can accommodate that. They're in good containers and then we can somehow secure it so that nobody can carry it away. That'll work. Then anybody can come and pick it up anytime they want, for whatever purposes.
If you're willing to donate a little bit of space, the club is more than willing to absorb that space.
Okay, well.
Because it is a dire need.
You can, it's wide open space. I know it's 8 cars because I measured it one day and it can, I can have 8.
Garage?
I don't have 8 cars.
Oh,
but-
you have an 8-car garage.
Yeah. 8
That's,
cars.
that's a big garage.
Yeah.
I see a 3-car garage, 8-car garage. I gotta see this. This is big.
It's just that the guy built it on a pole. It's a pole house. So all the space on the bottom is wide open, except for the center part, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the club could get one of those Rubbermaid storage, containers, like, it's
Yeah.
like a little small shed.
Yeah, I have those.
And put a padlock on it, put that under there, and then put
Yeah.
water type bins in that.
That'll
That
work. That'll work, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ad hoc committee on storage is going to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah, somehow we can anchor it so that nobody can carry it away. I mean, I'm sure somebody
Oh, I
can
know how
lift
to do
those
all
things
that.
up.
Oh, is it open or underneath?
What's that?
The underneath area, is it open? Is
It-
that,
It's just concrete floor.
You have lattice
And then-
around it. or
like,
anything?
anybody can just walk there and grab stuff from me?
The what?
Anybody can just walk at your house and grab the stuff, or is it like locked in?
No, you gotta drive in 1/10 of a mile into the property to my house. But there's no gate or anything. It's, that's why I said, gotta still anchor it. I mean, I leave all my tools and everything out in the open. Anybody can come in and probably pick up my weed whacker and my chainsaw and, no, please don't come and take them, but anyway.
I mean, that's a far easier solution to fix than even just finding a spot to put stuff, so.
How much of a
Yeah.
space you talking about that you need?
Ideally 80 square feet. Minimum.
Plus about, the other donation, we got the cabinets and, the one again. Somebody, who was,
Yeah, that's, Pat Chu's.
yeah.
I'm still working on that. So I need to get her contacted before.
Yeah, up there. Yeah, but then that's you talk about the repeater cabinet stuff, but that's the one that Tony said, one of them is the Aries one, and one belongs to somebody in Kona or something.
Yeah, well, that's why we gotta go talk to the widow and identify what's there, and then we can talk to.
She doesn't know anything about this equipment at all.
No, I got it, but we need to go see, grab what it is, get model and all, the serial number, all that.
Mm.
And then we can reach out to Joe Speroni and be like, hey, was this one yours? What do you want to do with it?
You don't need to go up there with a trailer, because this stuff ain't gonna fit on the back of one truck. Well, it would,
It's all
but,
right, I know a guy with a trailer.
okay, good. That driveway is not the easiest driveway to go up there with a trailer.
I got a flatbed, so it's all right.
Get a flatbed truck.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not Ram's flatbed.
to lift them up that high. You have a Tommy Gee?
No, it's something I wish that truck had.
Damn it. Yeah, that's a big cabinet, you know, that thing is, it's like a
But you
big
know
metal
what?
locker.
You know what I have?
For a lot of manpower,
Manpower. I could take Gabe and Sonny and
there you go. Anyway,
Can you
I'm not
say
aware.
something about Pat Chu's stuff then? What we're gonna do?
Okay, from what I see in the garage, a lot of the stuff there is above my pay grade. I mean, this guy is like, it's like walking into a mad scientist laboratory. William and Jim will probably be at home there, because all you see is plywood boards with little things stuck on it, with wires been all over the place, and he's got tons and tons of this stuff, and he's got those big repeater cabinets. He's got stuff in the repeater cabinets. He's got those things. What else he got? He's got lots of boxes. Like there's boxes full of spare stuff and more of those things in there. So there's a lot of I guess it's really to building systems, is what I should say. So there's a lot of system building equipment in that area. The widows kind of just say, hey, just grab what you just need and let me know what you just need, then she close the garage. That's pretty much, once she opens up the garage, she goes to the house and watches TV. She never comes out. And she tells you, you want everything you want, that's it, and then she was so she's not particularly caring about anything you take. There's a big safe in there. Oh, so there's a big old banker safe, like one heavy duty banker safe with a big dial and everything, that is free for anybody to take. So anybody wants a big safe to hold their stuff, you know, guns or whatever, that would be a great safe to have. It's
Backwards thinking about it.
but anyway, she wants that safe out of the garage too, so.
But is it auctionable, the stuff that they have, or?
It's specialized.
yeah, it's stuff that the club could use and the stuff that we could help get to other clubs in need, and stuff like that. But it's not generally stuff that an individual operators. can
Yeah,
use.
yeah, yeah.
And we really need to take care to figure out who
Yeah.
actually owns this, because groups from all over the state could have participated in fundraising and purchasing equipment, which was hosted at Pat
Yeah,
Chu's
and that's why I
house.
said that the first step is we need to go out there, we need to grab the make, model, and serial number of these items.
Oh,
And do due diligence to figure out if other groups
are
own
involved.
them and if
Yeah.
we can help get them back to them.
Can we set up?
There is labels on the equipment he had up there. He's got labels on top of a lot of stuff, so I don't know if those numbers or those things mean anything, but it's up there. There's a lot of label stuff up there. There was, I guess there's a radio that Gary wanted, but that was gone. A flex radio or something.
Yeah, something he said he was gonna give them, but then he passed. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Pat Chu promised this $3,000 flex radio thing to Gary. And then he passed away, and
And it's somebody-
there was a cover there. I seen the cover. I said, I seen a cover said flex something on top there. Was just sitting on the stand. It was a nice, beautiful cover that was just crumpled. I was like, what is this? Flex? What's the model? 6400? That's
Yeah, I
all
think
right?
it's 6400, but it's an HF SDR, great SDR.
Yeah, so somebody has a flex radio out there. I don't know. According to Gary, it doesn't work. But it might be seen that nobody uses it. I don't know. They
No,
plug them in and go, hey, it works. He loves it.
they reached out to me about that. It's brick. Somebody needs to push new firmware onto the chip manual.
Oh, and you and Gary can do that. I guess. Gary said he can do it.
I've never worked with that radio, but.
Yeah.
It's old.
Wow. If I can find out from if anybody took it, I don't know. It wasn't there, so.
No, I just need to find the time with you, because I don't know, Widow at all, so.
Oh, my time is every Saturday, every Sunday and Monday. Typically is my days off, so.
Yeah.
I can can schedule it accordingly to that. Yeah.
So the work party.
Huh?
You need a work party to go up there to remove the
yeah.
equipment.
I don't know if we should go as a work party though. Let's be respectful with her.
I mean, if you get your group of guys,
But I mean, first, let's just go get the serial numbers and stuff and
we figure out from there.
that we can get. stuff
Oh,
back.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to remove somebody else.
So just,
Did you
I think
unlock the
just a
bathrooms?
couple of us at first. and
Yeah.
then if we go
The
to-
bathrooms,
to-
did you unlock?
Yeah, I
them?
unlocked
Oh,
them.
okay.
stuff up, Then we can take additional manpower.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Okay, new business, board governance. I wanna, make sure we all understand how we're gonna do things. So I thought we'd spend some time doing that. It's 1 o'clock. Let's take a 10-minute break and come back together again. I took a trip to Australia and New Zealand. I just got back last Sunday, and amazing thing was that my luggage appeared every time I got to a destination, which is a really exciting thing for me. So I thought I'd celebrate a little by bringing you guys some special donuts and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing when the luggage comes through. It's incredible.
So Roy, and William, you guys think you could go tomorrow? It's a holiday. Monday, I think.
Yeah, it's my birthday, so it's a holiday.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually, today is a holiday actually. But because it falls on a Sunday, you know how the state and this county works, they like to pull additional holidays. Yeah, so it's a Kamehameha Day. Today.
Oh, yeah, that's why we have to bring.
Yeah, you know, the sad part is that, they used to, I remember when I was growing up, Kamehameha Day was, they used to have that big thing on Coconut Island every year.
Yeah.
They'd have the stage set up, they'd have hula dancers, they'd have all kinds of stuff, and it's sad they don't have it anymore. Real sad. I'll place this order just to see what the shipping is. But that, in general, that's what they'll do, that.
Yeah.
You're gonna place the order, then they'll send you the shipping code and say, do you still want it? If that way, that breakdown of the cost of the radio and stuff. They'll probably email me the cost tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you can decide from there, and then I'll have Jim source the little Pelican case thing. It's a good idea, Pelican case, and then also source, well, we can buy from Home Depot, but we have to include in the cost, at least, maybe a stainless steel or all-weather type, lock. But I would like to get one with the tumblers instead of a key, then we don't have to worry about keys, you know? Set the code to whatever code is that people need to know, and if you just, the board members have the codes or whatever the case is, then we can access the lock and get to the equipment in that case.
Yeah, they're not very secure, but,
But there's something to prepare it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're persistent, they'll get into anything,
What's the antenna you mentioned?
which,
Spiral,
oh, the ATAS 120, ATAS 120 Alpha. It's, I had that antenna on my taxi cab
Oh, yeah.
when I was driving around, and I can, it's a good thing it's QRZ, you know, you have the backup proof. But look, I made contact with this thing, and with that ATAS antenna and my 891 100-watt rig in my taxi cab, I talked all over the country and a few other countries with that mobile antenna. I mean, 10 meter, I mean, contact on every band that antenna could cover, from 40 through 6.
so would that work at a base, as a base?
As a portable setup,
No.
you could run that as a field-based setup.
Yeah.
I mean, you could set it up, and in fact, they make a ground radio kit for that exact antenna. If you do run it on a tripod,
Yeah.
slide this ground radio ring between the antenna where it screws in, I think, or something, there's like these things that come out.
Right.
And that's supposed to create the ground field for the antenna to work. So, color it, yeah, it works good. I mean, I was skeptical on that antenna when I first got it, but man, when you make contacts as easily on that antenna, it becomes very, very
How do you spell that?
ATAS, ATAS. I think that stands for
Tuning antenna system.
yep,
Oh, yeah.
128 because they operated on power was rated to 120 watts. And it did that to cover the digital portion. So digitally, that when you pushing digital signals, it heats up the thing hotter, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's got a higher frequency.
Yeah, like CW. But that antenna works good. I have one. I'll never get rid of it. I'll never ever get rid of
William,
it. That thing is good.
You know,
stuff.
Les had this tiny little antenna on his vehicle. It's about
And
that
it's
big, I
used
think.
to,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
that,
regular
does that
PL connector on
electronically
the bottom?
simulate a
So it's
quarter
screwed to
wave
that.
or
So
halfway?
yeah. If you got any kind
So how
of-
does that do that? I mean, how do you electronically
you can
simulate
stuff
something
it
like that?
like
Well,
on
it's
a-
just a helical resonance.
you have like a big metal-
it's adding a knuckle box.
No, but you're not,
you can
so
stick
you're
the
not
magnet
taking,
up there and screw the antenna on.
you're not taking an eighth of a wave or 16th of a wave and amplifying it. You're actually
Oh, that
simulating
thing
a
is-
quarter
that thing
wave.
is bomb.
No, I mean, what you can
Yeah,
do
you
is you
test
can
120.
load the antenna, so you can run an eighth of
Wait,
wave
hang on.
Vertical.
and then you can load it so it matches.
Say that again?
You can take an eighth wave radio and then
You can put it like you said, you can put it on a magnet mount and just stick it.
you can add it up.
Okay, and that could be a tripod, could be a magnet mount. So it has a UHF connector on the bottom, you just screw it in, and that antenna, so the way it's powered is through the coax. The radio pushes voltage into the coax and it puts that antenna up and down.
But it's from a helical
And
resonance.
it's plug and play with the Yaesu radio. So if you got a Yaesu 857 891 or 991 radio, or a 450 like Steve has, if you put an ATAS antenna to it, on your tuner options, it'll tell you tuner ATAS external.
No, so it has,
And the radio knows it needs to put
there's
voltage
a
in the coax,
variety of ways.
and it'll
that
move
they-
the antenna up and down.
With either general or antennas, and they're all-
I don't know how that, I come to them automatic.
But
Yaesu
there's-
has that captain bank, but it was good. I mean, it's really cool when you can put it there, you go to a frequency,
You don't
hit the
turn
tune
on
button,
much.
and you'll see
Yes,
it.
it's still a very small antenna for its.
And once you watch SWR on your radio, once it goes out, it just stops it.
That's
Yeah, yeah, Jim, ATAS.
What?
When you're using them on your mobile going to the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
Handfest, you're making contacts with the ATAS,
Yeah.
left and right.
Just
Yeah, no
under
problem.
a
I can
no
check that out.
Yeah, that's a great antenna. You can buy one antenna, do it all.
2.15.
I don't know
That's
how
the
it
one.
works without being on the car with having a ground plane.
Well, you can put they have a ground kit for that,
Yeah, those little.
with the little radios.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's great.
I've got that somewhere.
You have the radio kit. Oh,
No, I've already.
you don't have to get one then. You could probably take that out of funding.
Oh, yeah, works great.
You don't use the radio kit at all.
Has.
Fancy.
And it's great, because that
Yeah.
means it's very selective, number one. So.
But that is expensive.
300.
And that means you.
Oh, is that all?
that's-
Oh, I thought it was more.
No, that's a Tar Heel, like what I have.
Yeah, plus the-
Well, he has the ground kit thing. But the antenna doesn't have to have anything else. Like everything goes through the coax.
I know you earlier, when I first joined.
I think, yo, Tar Heel, but that's the shit. That's a, I ain't talking $1,000 antenna. No, thank you. I actually regret buying this big Tar Heel, to tell you the truth, you know? Because I really use 80 meters of mobile. When I do though, I trip people out. When I make contact to like Minnesota, and I'm like, oh, I'm on my mobile. You're on your mobile at 80 meters? How is that possible? I'm on a Tar Heel. But at 80 meters, that Tar Heel antenna is 13 feet up. It's freaking tall. It goes all the way up.
You got a part X on 80 on that, you're definitely,
Oh, yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
woo!
William was saying
Yeah.
that.
You know, and then I got my 500-watt kicker on the side to fire it through, so it helps. Hey, good. Yeah, this is- Are they good? Sure.
I'm gonna
Oh, not much. I figured we'd do it as soon as we adjourn. I figured we'd get adjourned now. We just gotta undo the clamps and then, there's more to take apart, but I just figured that, everyone would just take one sub-assembly home and take the other one off. I brought in this transmit reminder because it has.
Oh, that one.
Low power loads.
I was talking about the heated, but I thought that-
So if anybody wants.
Go
to
eat
get
it.
that one-
I'll sacrifice myself, go eat it.
I think these are good for 250.
Yeah, we did that, the first time I did that, I was registered.
Yeah.
5 watts, face on, I mean, I had- They'd say, how was it? I thought it was terrible. It's cracked up.
How would you test?
Pretty good.
Your rate?
Yeah, chocolate.
Okay, so
None.
it's more of a matter of time. You can transfer 1,000 watts to a 5-watt number for 50 milliseconds. You can transmit 1,000 watts in one of these 250-watt loads for a minute. You know, you can, so that's 250 watts continuous, but you don't ever want to pump 250 watts continuous. It just means it won't catch fire. Okay, so that's good for 100 watts continuous.
Right.
comfort.
Right.
So the smaller loads that are on it are good for 25. And you can pump 100 watts into that for comfort. That's fine. It's just faster. It's actually nothing to do with the resistor so much. They often use the same resistor. It's how much syncing you have on it. So if you blow a fan across the heat sink on that thing, you can pump that 250 watts of liquid out. Problem. No fan, you want to be great.
Looks more like a coffee machine.
Yeah. Don't drink what comes out.
What kind of watch is that?
G 413, I think. Actually, this is going to be newer than that, considering what it is, so it probably has a different C number on it.
It looks great.
Hello.
Oh, this is good stuff. Oh,
I know it
that's good, because this is double shielded silver conductors.
Yes. The RG3, is that 393?
No.
Okay. I'll be drilling the 393.
What does it
That's
mean?
funny, they
double-
put the label in backwards. Oh, no, it is 393.
I knew it. I could see it from across here.
Yeah, 393.
So, are you sourced for this food?
What's that?
Do you have this?
I don't keep it in the shelf. I mean, I can, it's just there's no demand for it.
So what does three double shielding mean?
Okay, so regular RG58 coax,
Uh-huh.
This is like
you can
LMR
get
200 on steroids.
signal leak in and out of the shield. It's just a braid around it, right? This is
This is.
a shield within a shield. So that means that the energy will not couple in or out the side of the cable.
Nothing comes out.
Nothing comes out. But it's much more expensive.
So what are
This
they-
is silver plated copper.
Yeah, this is.
Wire.
I mean,
So
it's
it's-
You
kinda
get a regular
overkill, but
shield,
good.
installation, and another shield on top of it? Is that the way it's built?
No, so it's shield
Yeah.
insulation.
This
Oh.
RG 393.
Some,
Oh.
like LMR 400 is double shielded, but the second shield is a foil that's wrapped around it, which is why we can't use that on repeaters, because that aluminum foil
Oh.
can have galvanic interactions
Yeah, yeah.
with the copper wire.
Yeah.
Feel free to grab some cookies or donuts or coffee.
Yeah,
Before this ends up in my top five.
Hey.
What?
No, I haven't.
No. Come on.
That gotta be like a $50
Oh, yeah.
cable right there. then.
No, that cable's probably $7.
Really?
Yeah, just for this. But that's his price. But if you buy on retail, these things sell for like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, $3 a foot
$3
there.
a foot, okay?
without the connectors.
Yeah, without
Yeah.
that.
It's
Just the
$10.
coax is
All right.
$3 a foot.
Uh,
Thank you.
Okay, meeting come back to order again. We're gonna spend the rest of the meeting on board governance, and I brought it together because there was a lot of conversation through email about how do we do things, what do we do, when, all that kind of stuff. So as I said, I don't want to make this thing to like a instructive or tutorial. That's not my purpose for it. I've been on many, many boards, and most of the boards I've been on have been with organizations that have an autonomous function. A good example is like Bay Clinic. You have an organization that actually functions and they autonomously, and the board provides a board guidance to the organization. In our case, I call ourselves a working board. That we don't have an organization that we're a board for. Our members are members. They're not they don't do something separate from us. So we're kind of unique in that sense. I've been member of a board like this, a working board, a couple other organizations. And we operate more flexibly because the things that we bring up and want to do, we cannot just give it to somebody to do it. We got to do it ourselves. The committee has to do it. So I just want to come to a common understanding so that we don't have to wonder what we're going to do next or that kind of stuff. So I wanted to bring that up, okay? So first of all, the question I have is how the obligation that we have as being a registered organization with the state of Hawaii is that we operate under certain rules, okay? So one of the first topics that came up is the use of our email voting. The state doesn't say that you have to be only use it for emergency purposes. William pointed out that there was a policy that was passed several years back, he said, that said we're only going to use it for emergency purposes. So that was a decision that was made by the board to use it for that purpose. So my question is, do you want to stick with that or you want to change it so that it's more, the way I used to use it was more for convenience. And in other words, when I asked Joe to get the minutes to the membership quickly, so it's still fresh and alive instead of 2 months later. That's why I wanted to have the minutes passed, approved before the hamgram goes out, so it can be in a hamgram and members can see it. And I'm thinking that if we do that, we're going to get more new members and we're going to get members that will be more active in the club. So that was my reason for that. But that's my first question. Do you want to reserve this only for emergency purposes and adhere to the policy that exists right now? Or do you want to change it so that we can use it for convenience purposes to get things done in a more timely manner? I need discussion. Let's go around the room. Okay, William.
I don't honestly remember why the board created that policy at that time. I do remember at some point discussion of making sure that items were discussed in open session because there had been perception that BIARC was just a couple of people doing their own thing. And that may have influenced it. I don't honestly remember. But I throw that out there because that, again, could be a concern. So for procedural matters, like approving minutes, I see merit to the method you're stating about, get that done in email so that it's procedurally swift.
Yeah.
But for substantive measures, I would prefer that we still discuss them in open session, recorded on the minutes, things of that nature.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I agree. I just, for the board minutes approval, I don't have, I guess that'd be fine, just that it puts a little more pressure on the secretary to get it done sooner. So that we can then approve it and then get it to the, quite often, so when I was secretary, I got to her the last, on like Sunday night, because she wanted it by then. So it wasn't really time for it to be passed, for everybody, wait for everybody's feedback on it. So it would have to be done sooner if you could do that. But I think that was the reason for that rule was for the openness, because there had been some friction in the past where, about things just, a few people making the decisions, not being open. So that, I would think we don't reserve it for certain things like disapproving minutes.
Hmm.
not for any, an emergency.
Yeah, the only requirement they have on email voting is that everybody has to vote. Whether it's a nay or an A, everybody has to, you gotta receive, in other words, something coming back from every board member. And if one board member doesn't respond, then that motion dies right there. So everybody has to respond. It doesn't require that everybody has to be, it has to be unanimous. The other part is that once the motion is carried, then it has to be ratified at the next board meeting. And the ratification simply means that we bring it up as a motion that was made, and we visit physically together, vote on it, and ratify it. So that's the process that they require you to follow. And it's only because we are a duly registered organization with the state of Hawaii. If we're a beer drinking group, we wouldn't have to follow all this stuff. You know, we can just sit around and bullshit for the rest of our lives. So, okay, Joe, any thoughts?
I don't mind getting it done a little sooner. I pretty much agree with what Gene said, you know, for certain things, for emergencies, just for, moving the minutes, stuff like that, I do that fine.
Okay.
I'm
Roy?
in agreement with that too. That way it'll just make things a lot quicker for that. But then, so if the, so what happens if the one person doesn't respond via email? Do we send them
That's
another
usually
one?
me, and people start reaching out to me through other means.
And say, hey, check your email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Thank you, Joe, Jim, Tony.
I mean, what is the time frame for the response of email before, like you said, before it dies?
usually the facilitator will say, like I would say, I want a response in 2 days. In other words, everybody has an email. They have the responsibility is to make sure they check their email every day and come back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I don't know. Sometimes if I'm busy at work, or something, I might get for a day or two. Every day.
I think most of us check our emails every day. But as board members, we are responsible to check our emails every day.
I think the time frame, as long as we push the time frame up, just maybe like 3 or 4 days, I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 days, would be kind of pressured for like William or Jim or people that don't check the email. But if we make up 3 or 4 days, I think we should be okay.
The only hindrance to that will be like when I was in Australia, I couldn't get a good signal. I don't know why. I'm not blaming the Australians for anything. It's just that where I was, the signal would go in and out, in and out, in and out. And so I was kind of late in getting response to some of the stuff I was getting from
So in
here.
that kind of
So-
situation where you're out of country or William's out of country, is there anything against, like, say, William saying, hey, I'm gonna give my proxy to Jim?
No,
Not
you
specifically allowed in the bylaws, so I do not think it's prohibited by law.
yeah, you cannot give proxies. Yeah. But the thing is that you just got to get a response. So you're like, I understand 3 to 4 days, that would be, you know, I resolved my problem within half a day. And I was trying to get good communication, but it took me 3 days to figure out what I was doing wrong. Okay, Tony?
Yeah, I'm all for the email voting as long as we have a good procedural process in place. So it sounds to me like someone would make a motion that goes to the whole board. Someone would need to second that. And then I guess you would need to pose the question or,
Yeah.
you know, because it won't happen without you as the facilitator, right?
Okay. Okay.
So because you need to set the time frame. And I would also point out that when we've done emergency, quote unquote, votes in the past, it typically involves money. And it means we're going to spend money right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when you're talking about ratifying it at the next board meeting, that's a rubber stamp because we can't undo the money that we've already spent.
Yeah. That's right, like paying for the pastries last time. Okay, David?
Yeah, I'm in general agreement with the voting. Your comments about full participation and application. Being concerned seriously. With that, I just reiterate what Tony's saying, efficiency versus emergency. Now, there shouldn't be an abuse of that, so everything's not urgent.
Yeah.
So it's just, but the ratification process pretty much takes care of that, so.
Okay, then based upon your feedback, let me propose this then. Whenever there is a need for an email motion, that whoever has that issue, feed it to me, and I'll facilitate the email approval process. So that'll leave me, instead of make emergency, let's call it urgent. It's something urgent that we need to take care of, because it's really out of convenience that you're gonna do email voting, casting of a motion. So you feed it to me, and then I'll ask for a motion. Somebody make, let's say, I make it, and William sees it first. He says, I move that, da, 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 and then Jim sees it second. He says, I second it. And I would assume that you already made the motion and you seconded, so you have an I vote, and then all of you got to respond to say aye. Okay. I'm not required to vote on things like this because I'm supposed to be governing the process, but if it comes,
I believe
whatever.
The bylaws do require you to vote on
What's that?
it. I believe the bylaws in this case do require you to vote on that.
It does?
When it's done in email.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I looked through the bylaws and the constitution, and there's no mention of email voting. And so I'm looking for the policy, and there's the policy folder only has 2 citations from 2014. And there's nothing more. So the only other thing I can do is go through all the minutes from the past meeting. And I haven't done that yet.
Sounds like we need a policy on tracking the policies.
I was just gonna say that, but it sounds kind of redundant. But we gotta do that. Dropbox is our archive reservoir, whatever you want to call it, of all the things that happen in BIAR. But it is not, it needs a lot of attention. It needs folders to
Testing,
put
one,
the
two,
right
three.
things in.
Testing,
If there are policies, they should all be in a policy folder, but
testing.
like I said, there's only 2. In fact, they're both the same, but they're repeated in there. For me to go and read, would you know about what year it was passed?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
2018.
2006
2018.
or 2018?
That's fine.
Okay, then I can focus in only on 2018.
If there's an email that we have to respond to, make sure that there's an action word in the subject, like action required in the subject.
How about vote required?
Or vote required.
Yeah, that would help.
Something sort of like you quick look, sometimes my inbox has got a bunch of stuff,
I get hundreds of emails a day, so I mean,
Yeah,
if I see vote required from somebody on the board, I will know that I have to.
okay. So in the subject line, I'll say immediate action required.
vote required.
Yeah.
Vote required would be better, because I get a lot of spam emails that say immediate action required.
Yeah, I'll put that in. Okay. Immediate action.
So
Okay.
how do we keep records of these? When we do this in open session, we keep minutes, it's on a recording. How do we keep a record of the vote tally and the motions when it's done?
Just by what the email has. I'll be
You know,
responsible
I got it,
for,
but how do we keep records for the club?
what do
It
you
doesn't
mean?
go into minutes if we do that. How are we, and we're gonna keep records of what vote happened on what point if we do by email?
No. I would, no, I would collect everybody's response, and
Okay.
that will become the document.
And where does that document get memorialized?
What do you mean
We
memorial?
have to keep a record of everything
Yeah.
that's required by state law. How
Yeah,
do we keep a record of that vote?
Yeah, that has to be, you gotta keep a copy of all the emails that responded.
Yeah.
Say that was voted on.
So, and then how is the club gonna keep that as a record?
I guess I'm gonna have to be the person to do
Yeah,
that.
but are we gonna put it, are you gonna print it out as a PDF, put it in the Dropbox, are we gonna keep a log of them? I mean, how are we gonna?
Yeah, we,
store
at
them?
Bay Clinic, when we did this, we just collected all the emails and it got stapled together and stuck into a folder as part of the minutes that were taken.
Testing,
Uh,
That's not an
testing,
option
1,
we
2,
have.
3.
yeah,
testing.
that's really the easiest way.
That's not an option we have.
What about like a
No.
shared, what about like a shared drive, like a shared?
But that's what we have the Dropbox.
Yeah,
No.
so we'll just use that,
Of,
be easier.
no, officially, it's official only when we ratify it.
Right.
Yeah.
That would go in the minute.
So it gets into the minutes that way. But the actual documents that say it was voted on and everything, that just gets stapled together and stuck in there.
Well, there's no staple together anymore. because We don't get paid.
But you have the Dropbox access, right?
Yeah,
But
but what we need is a record keeping procedure there that says that we're going to, are we gonna attach those as part of the minutes? Are they then gonna go into the hand grant?
Oh, well, it goes into the minutes when it's ratified.
Okay, and
And
then
then-
with that, are those emails going to be published? in
The,
the hand grant?
yeah, that gets documented as the email vote that got ratified. But the emails that actually show that people voted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be, we just stapled together and we stuck it into the folder.
Oh,
There isn't any folder. We don't have paper records anymore.
That's right, yeah.
I have
So-
got 4 tubs, huge in size, being eaten by cockroaches and other bugs that are from many decades of BIARC past. So
What you're saying is that the time that we do the email voting, which is not gonna be a regular occurrence.
well, no, we're talking.
No.
about making it a regular occurrence.
Doing it every month.
Okay, I'll figure something
So
out
put a
to,
space in the hand grab, like you said, that'll.
Yeah, but are we gonna publish the emails in the hand grant?
I
No.
think that's in there.
Yeah, 'cause I don't want the hand grant to become loaded. It's already got.
No.
2 sets of minutes.
Just have to put some options. This is motion, we voted on and passed. Period. You have to say when you voted day, you know what I mean?
We are required to keep that record by state law.
Really, each person?
Yes.
Wow. I guess when you should go on Dropbox.
Well, why don't you turn on the Dropbox and let's put, and on the hand grab, you can
Well,
put a link
no.
to the Dropbox if I wanna access it.
So what we can do is we can create a ratification process, a ratification policy, and we'll have to keep track of. It says if we do an email vote, then we have to then record in the minutes of the next meeting, who made the motions and who voted how. And then that can go into the minutes.
okay, what are the ideas on doing this? Well, I forgot the fact that we want to keep it electronically. But that shouldn't be a problem. We can forward all these things to a single, hey, what about that BIARC, what is that email?
The club only has one email address officially, and that's the trustee's email address.
Yeah, BIARC,
Uh,
the one I had to use to get into Dropbox.
Oh, that's a completely different thing. Hold on.
No, but that's a real email address because I got the, that two-level authentication code and all that kind of stuff. So why don't we send it all to that location?
I use my own email address to get into the Dropbox.
Oh,
Everyone
really?
should be using their own email address.
yeah,
Okay, well, let me, anybody has any objection to doing that? We have a real email address, something,
Not as far as.
I'm
I
trying to
know.
look for it
Yeah,
right now.
what's his name? Les made it for specifically for the board and the Dropbox. I think fire.board is email or something like that.
I'll remember that.
Send you what I got.
No, I'll stick using my own email address. Everyone should use their own email address in Dropbox.
Can we do that though, just for now, okay?
Well, I don't know who has access to that email address.
I do. I put it into as one of the accounts and I receive email on that because of the authentication code. So we can drop everything in there to keep a record of everybody's vote.
Okay, but who has access to that email?
I do. You guys all do. Les sent that out to everybody. All the board members have access to it.
Yeah, we all have access to the Dropbox. And
Yeah, we have
anything
access
you
to
put
it.
into the Dropbox,
About an email address.
yeah, so we're not, the email address is just used to get into the Dropbox, right? It doesn't matter whether you use the one less sent to you, or if I use the one that I have,
No, you
we're
should
all
use your own,
authorized.
Because then we can track changes.
Right, so yeah, we each
Oh.
use our own email address to sign into that Dropbox. It's just, it's all going to the same spot,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Nobody should log into the Dropbox from an email address other than their own email.
The purpose of that email address that Les sent to us was for us to take charge and assign access rights to other email addresses.
That's the
That's-
administrator account.
That's
Well-
the administrative account.
For now, it's a real email address, so I'll just dump everything in there whenever we take a urgent email.
So you got to make the distinction between the Dropbox, which is a shared resource,
Yeah.
and the email address, which is the access credentials to the
Yeah,
Dropbox.
yeah. Okay, got it, okay. Second thing is, how loose or how stringent you guys want to be on the Robert rules of, order.
Well, how stringent have we been? I mean,
Well, the only thing we do is the motion, and we pass the motion and everything like that. That's okay? Is that too tight or too loose or what? What,
I said, I think it's fine the way we've been doing it. I don't
okay,
think We need to do anything else.
we don't, this isn't strict adherence. Go ahead.
So in the past, we've had to, the idea is you have a motion and then you have a second. And until you have that motion and second, you cannot discuss the issue. You need the motion and the second before discussing.
mhm,
That's how Les ran the board. We've been kind of lax on doing that. We haven't really followed that. So that might be do we want to stick to that protocol? You need a
Okay.
motion and a second, then you have the
yeah,
discussion.
open discussion.
Yeah, that's the main issue that I see.
In order
Regarding
to
this.
come up with the motion, you need to talk a little bit about it, usually. Yeah, and then we come up.
Decide, yeah, we need their promotion.
So you know whether or not you're gonna even second the motion. Yeah.
And then there's the idea of getting the chair's permission before you speak, making sure you get recognition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been a little bit lax about that. So those are the two biggest type deals that I see regarding this topic of Robert's Rules
Okay,
of Order.
so we'll essentially follow Robert's rules on this whole thing. And I agree, and I'll facilitate that where we get the motion, get a second, and open up for discussion. Any member has a right to call for the question. Sometimes the discussion will go on forever and ever. Roy can raise his hand and says, I call for the question, and that means that we all go to vote, okay? Enough is enough, let's vote. Okay. Those are the two concerns I had for discussion. Thank you for the feedback. Anything else that you want to see done better, differently, less, more on how we run our meetings? William,
No.
No. Jim, Joe, Roy? Okay,
I think you're
David?
disciplined, and I think it works well the way we're.
okay. Then promise me one thing is that when you have thoughts, concerns, issues, whatever, that you raise it to the board as soon as you can, when it's fresh in your mind, so we can all
Testing,
address
1, 2,
it.
3, testing.
And that way, I think we'll be, we'll be slick like whatever. Okay,
Can I bring a new idea though to the board right now?
Sure.
While we have this time. So here's how the success of that silent auctioning went, and we all see the need for ham gear for a lot of people, new hams and old hams alike. Could we set up a table? Could we have a setup of a table, like just one table here, like a buy and sell table for the club meetings, so that people can just bring this stuff down, throw it on the table, and if one wants to buy it, they can contact the guy. Because a lot of times, people are looking for gear, they don't know who to contact. Like William has a ton of stuff that nobody really had 5 power supplies sitting around. If somebody needed a power supply, you go on down to the table, hey, you want a power supply? Yeah, hey, give me $5 for it, whatever. I mean, it's nothing to do with club making money, it's just a matter of being able to pass around gear a lot easier for a lot of people out there. So can we have a buy and sell table set up every club meeting, is all I'm asking.
So like an information table with things that you might want to sell. Okay,
You bring equipment down that you don't want, that somebody might want to buy.
Call it a swap meet table?
Like a swap, yeah, buy and sell table, swap meet table, whatever you wanna do, whatever you wanna call it, just an equipment table so we can get equipment out there and on top of that, as we all know, having toys at the meeting brings a lot of people. So I'm just trying to think of ways to bring more people to the meeting consistently, because you won't know what's on the table unless you come down here.
yeah,
Might not be here the next meeting, because somebody's gonna pick it up, they're gonna buy it, oh, you should
good
come last week
idea.
at this thing, that kind of thing.
And so you bring something in, it's either you have a price on it, or it says free.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
So just,
okay,
Just a table. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to think that I'm going to just run a separate table for a private agenda. I just want to put a table on here for the club that it's a swap meet, buy and sell table. You're free to bring down stuff and people are
Okay.
free to buy whatever.
would you coordinate that?
Well, the coordination is just put a table on the table.
Yeah,
I
no,
can do
I,
that.
so
nobody actually has to run it.
Yeah,
maybe we can even bring in our old QST magazines and put it,
whatever.
yeah,
Whatever you wanna
put it
throw on
up
the
there
table.
for people to take away, right?
It's a give and take table. It's a buy
Yeah.
and sell, give and take, swap, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah.
But it's limited to the table, so if you're first come, first serve, run out of space on the table, then
But I think we gotta be clear that if you bring it, and nobody takes it, you gotta take it back with you. It's too
Oh,
big
yeah,
on
that's the
you.
only problem, but, yeah.
yeah, let's be clear on that. If nobody takes it, then you need to take back your own stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are you gonna call it?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Call it the swap and shop, or the buy and sell, whatever you wanna
I
call
say
it.
that we encourage having a swap meet at every club meeting.
Yeah, swap meet table.
Swap meet table, okay,
Yeah.
good idea.
Okay. So, you need to have that set up, so.
Okay, done.
Well,
Just do it. We don't need a vote for that.
Okay, good.
Okay, anything else?
I've got two
Announcements?
I've got two announcements. So as I said I would, the last board meeting, I went ahead and started our social media presence. I've started small with just one Facebook page and a YouTube channel. So far, I took some of our old videos, put them on the YouTube channel. Those were videos that were on my page, on Les Hitler's page.
Job.
And I'm also putting the meeting recordings on there, which actually got viewed
Oh,
and it got commented on. So,
yeah,
I was gonna bring them up and show them to you, but I didn't bring my hotspot today. I'm on the county wireless and they won't let me go to Facebook or YouTube on the county wireless. So,
okay, okay. Can we get that information into the Ham Grant then?
yes.
Yeah, so that people can connect up to it.
Send me the link, William. I'll get it on the website.
Okay.
There's
Okay,
only 8
great.
followers on Facebook.
Yeah, well, and
Hey,
if you're on Facebook, share that page to other people. I shared it with the people that I'm connected with, which is not that many, so.
Great.
Yep.
Any other announcements? If not, meeting adjourned, 20 minutes, membership meeting starts. Give it William enough time to set up.